Hey yo, what's good fam? It's your boy S and I'm back with another video, and this time we're gonna be breaking down my Sony FX3 Rig. Let's get into it. Alright, so before we get started, let me give you guys a little bit of a backstory to kind of explain how we got here. So I started my video journey shooting music videos, and my first camera was a Canon T7i. Now, I quickly outgrew that camera's capabilities, and I hit a fork in the road and I decided to go Sony, and I got the A7 III because it was a great camera at the time and it basically did everything that I needed. And so yeah, I love that camera a lot, and I rocked with that camera for so long, and then eventually I hit a point where I needed to upgrade again, and I was faced with the dilemma of choosing the A7S III or the FX3. And at the time, I was still shooting a lot of music videos, so I didn't care for the XLR Top Handle because I didn't need that. And this camera was also going to be my only camera, so I liked that the A7S III had a viewfinder because I was also taking photos. Even though it was 12 megapixels, it worked perfectly fine for what I needed. So I went with the A7S III. Now, I had that camera for a pretty long time, and I loved it so much that I got another one. But after seeing the FX3 get firmware update after firmware update, I loved that this camera got Timecode. That was such a game changer. And after losing a couple jobs because I didn't have Timecode, I decided to sell my A7S IIIs and pick up 3 FX3s so that I can have an A cam, a B cam, and a gimbal camera. So this is my A camera. This is usually how I have it set up when I'm doing quick run and gun shoots where I don't need audio, or if I'm doing like an interview setup, this will be my A camera. My B camera is set up exactly the same, so all the parts are exactly the same. The only thing that's different would be my lens choice. And then also my gimbal camera, just throw a cage on it, throw it on the gimbal. This is how I have it set up. Like I said, quick run and gun, no audio. But if I'm out shooting like a documentary or something like that and I need to get good audio, I do have a little different setup, and I will definitely go over that as well. But let's go ahead and get started on this build here. So I'm gonna go ahead and tear it all apart, lay everything down on the table. I'm gonna go over everything, and we're gonna build this camera, and I'm gonna show you how quick and how easy it is, all the parts that I use. And I'll also have a link down in the description. But yeah, let's go ahead and get right into it. So first things first, this is the camera body that I'm using. It's the Sony FX3. I went ahead and got rid of the cap, the sensor cap that goes on here, and I got this Kondor blue Cine cap. It's for E-mount. They also make it for other mount cameras, but I like that it's metal and that it locks, so it's going to protect that sensor. I also have this Smallrig cage on here. I specifically like this cage because it doesn't have the 15mm rod like knuckle up here. I like that it's really low profile. I can take the Nato rail off if I want to, and I also did take off this little door to be able to get into the the battery door. I hated having to swing it open all the time, so I took that off. Another key feature here is that it's got a built-in Arca Swiss plate, and it also has this little tool, so I can easily take this cage off with just this tool. I love that. I don't have to have any extra tools. I do have this Smallrig tool that I will be using later for certain things, but I do love that this is included on here. Now the next important part for this build is going to be the rig, or like the frame itself, and so I have that right here. So this is like the frame for the rig. So this is made up of a bunch of different parts. I didn't want to take it all apart because it is a little bit of a hassle to put it all together. So we'll go ahead and start here. This is the Nitze V-mount battery plate. I believe they have 2 different versions of this plate. This version has a USB-C port here on the side. You do need that if you're going to be building this rig very similar to the way I built it. It also has these 2 D-taps and a DC 8-volt 3 amps plug there as well. But I do use this Kondor blue USB-C cable. So it's angled on this side and it's not angled on this side. I used to use a cable that was angled on both sides so that it would just plug in here and it would plug in the camera here and it wouldn't be sticking out. However, I needed to change that because with the timecode, it has to be plugged into the multi-port on the bottom. And if I had an angled cable, it was blocking it, so I'd have to unplug it and plug that in. I wasn't able to charge my camera using a V-mount. So it's very important to say, even though I am using a V-mount plate, I do have a battery in my camera, and I'm charging the camera through USB-C power. I do not use dummy batteries because if this battery dies, then your camera shuts off. Next, I have a Smallrig. It's an Arca Swiss quick release plate. So it's got this little, handle here that you can lock it into place. And like I said, the camera body has an Arca Swiss plate on the bottom. So it's definitely going to utilize that. Right below that, I have a Smallrig 15mm rail block with these 6-inch Smallrig 15mm aluminum rails. And on the bottom, I have a Manfrotto plate down here. I think this is for my 504X video head. But yeah, so this is the frame of the build, and so the camera's going to go right on here. So I can go ahead and do that right now. So this just slides in just like that and locks into place just like that. Very easy. I just open this little door, I plug in the USB-C, and just like that, we have a start of a camera rig build here. So next, I'm going to go ahead and throw on the top handle. So I did get a top handle that is going to be able to be used on this Nato rail. I did try out a bunch of different top handles, but I like this here. This is the Nitze Stinger, and it comes with this cold shoe plate that you can actually take off and mount it anywhere else you want. I like it up here on the top. But this is the Nitze Stinger. I believe it's the version 2, so it's got this silver plate, lets you know it's like the version 2. It's a lot lighter. I did use a Nitze Lil Stinger. It was a little small for my hands. I love this handle a lot better. And then I also have this mount here on the front. So this is from Wooden Camera. So this is the mount for the monitor that I'm using, because there's not very many monitor mounts for the monitor that I'm using. There's only a few that are available, and Wooden Camera seems to make the best for that monitor. So I do have this. I'll get into that a little bit more. And then also here on the side, I have this is made by Smallrig, but it's for my Tentacle sync timecode generators. So this is going to hold that, but this just mounts on through the Nato rail right here on the top. Slide it right onto the side. Let's make sure it's centered, and I lock it into place just like that. So here we go, top handle on the camera body just like this. The monitor that I'm using is the SmallHD. This is the Indy 5. This one works fine for me. I do kind of wish that I did get the Cine 5. Although I do like the locking DC barrel rather than the 2-pin Limo, I believe it is. But, this monitor works great for me. And like I said, this is the Wooden Camera mount, because they have these proprietary, mounting holes on the top and on the sides. And so this works the best. And it's going to slide on just like it would a 15mm rod, just like that. And then the knob here to tighten it into place, and there it is. And it does just swivel. It doesn't turn or anything like that, but it swivels. And I love having it mounted here on the front, because then I can slide it all the way down, and it's easy for me to store into my case or my bag. But yeah, so that's that. Next would be my lens option. So for this demonstration, I'm just going to be using my Sigma 35 1.2 DG-DN lens here. So we'll go ahead and take this lens cap off, and we'll throw the lens on just like this. And this is the lens that I'm going to be using. So the lenses that I have a 14-24 Sigma 2.8. I have two Sigma 24-70 2.8 lenses. I have the Sigma 35 1.2. Sigma 85 1.4. I have the Sony G Master 70-200 version, or Mark II. And then I also have two anamorphic lenses that I just got from Sure, the 35mm T2.9 and the 75mm T2.9 as well. Great lenses, so you'll be seeing more content on those here pretty soon. But next up, we're going to go ahead and put on this Mattebox, because this is not the FX6. This is FX3, so it does not have built-in VND filters. So I use this Mattebox from Tilta with this VND from Vaxis. So this just slides in just like that, and then I have this wheel that I can just turn here and just set it on right here, because I already have their adapter on my lenses. I have it on pretty much all of my lenses, the ones that I use the Mattebox on at least. So I just throw that on here, make sure it's lined up pretty well, tighten it down, and it's locked in. And then I also have my Tentacle sync timecode generator. So this right here, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this cable on. This is the cable that it comes with, or that actually you have to buy separately for the FX3, but it is a TRS to a multi, I believe this is like a multi-cable connector for the Sony FX3. So I can just plug this in here. And I also have this little lock that Tentacle Sync gives you. So you just slide this on just like this. So that cable is not gonna come out. I stick this right through this little hole here, and I wrap it around this way, just like this. Slide this in, boom. Take this and I plug it in right here, just like that. And that's how this sits. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and plug in all the power cables. So I have this D-tap to locking barrel here. The way I usually throw this on is I plug it in here on the back, wrap it around like this. Where's that? Plug it in right there like that. And then I wrap it around and through here. Just because I like my cables nice and tidy, I don't mind wrapping them up, because the only time I'm gonna take this cable off is if I'm like actually tearing this rig down. I slide it right through here. Usually pull it pretty tight, wrap it around, stick it right in here, and I just screw it in, tighten it down, and that's ready to go. I also do keep batteries on here. I keep these charged all the time. I don't really have to charge them that much, but because I have these on here, it does use the DC barrel power first, and once the V-mount battery dies, then it goes on to this power. So if I need to, I can hot swap, take the V-mount battery off, put a brand new one on, and my camera stays on and running, because like I said, there's a battery inside the camera and there's batteries on the monitor. That's that. So last up, we have the Smallrig VB99 V-mount battery. I love these batteries because they have the percentage indicator. You can just click it on the side and it shows you on there. I do have 4 of these batteries. I also have a 50 watt-hour battery from Smallrig. Then I have a couple other from Core SWX, which I like as well. So I throw this on here, just like that. And there we go. We are off and running. This is my quick run and gun rig for when I don't need audio. All right, so let me go ahead and take this apart because it is a fast, it's really quick for me to go ahead and go from this to my run and gun documentary with the audio. But before I start taking this all apart, let me show you those pieces that I'm gonna be using right now. So this is the XLR Top Handle from Sony that comes with the FX3. It also comes with an FX30. I have the Smallrig extension on here with the Nato rail on top, and then I also have this, I don't even know what this part is called, but it's a part that goes over the top of the XLR module. I do like that I have this on here to protect it. And then I'm also using this cable here from Kondor Blue as well. I came across this. It's just an angled male to female. I don't know which is which. But it has this little screw, so I can kind of unscrew it and turn it and pivot it whichever direction that I want. But I usually put it in right here into input 1, and I have this coming off to the front so that I can wrap it around in through this little cable management loop here, and then plug it right into my microphone. Which microphone I'm using, by the way, is the Rode NTG5. So this is a short and very thin shotgun mic from Rode. This mic is great for picking up audio and things, and for this whole setup. It is really thin, so you have to get these rubber, like I don't even know what you call them, spacers, and they make them for these shotgun style mics. However, this is a lot thinner than most shotgun style mics, so I had to get 2 of them. I just kind of cut it, wrapped another one around, and then just gaffed it so that it doesn't come off and it stays just like that. And then I'm also using this Rode shotgun, or what is this, Dead Cat, for these mics. It does block out a lot of wind. A lot of the shoots that I've been going on are outside, so this is definitely handy to have. So I throw that on just like this. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll show you like this. So this is just gonna sit right here like this. Fold this over, lock it down, and then I'm gonna take this, plug it right in, just like that. Look how nice and neat that is. Throw this on here, boom, and we're ready to roll. Here's the XLR Top Handle that I will be using, and then I also have this mount here. So this is the monitor mount that I'll be using. It's from Smallrig. I believe it's called a Magic Arm, and it just has a 1/4-20 screw here. There's no area locating pins on this at all. And then on this side is a Nato rail. This is going to mount to the side of the camera because the side of the camera has a Nato rail, and this is going to mount to the bottom of the monitor. Because it doesn't have those area locating pins, it will go into the monitor because the monitor has these pins here on the side. It also has the exact same pins on the bottom, but these holes on the sides of this 1/4-20 are not compatible with the area locating pins. So if you have anything that has the area locating pins, it will not work with this monitor, which is why I had to spend the big bucks with this wooden camera monitor mount. So let me go ahead and take this apart. It's really quick. I'm just gonna go ahead and unplug this timecode generator, and then I'm going to unscrew this. And I just realized I didn't even plug in my HDMI cable. Real quick, I can actually show you how I do that, because I have a very short HDMI cable, and I love that it has this little HDMI clamp. So I plug this in here, just like this. I tighten this down and lock it down because I do not want this thing getting ripped or pulled or anything like that. I come through this little hole here, I wrap it around the handle and plug it in just like this. Just like that. Very, very like nice, neat. There's no cables hanging around everywhere like that. So yeah, that's really quick. I just go ahead and unplug this, unscrew it, set it to the side, and then we're gonna do the same thing with the power cable. I actually don't need to take the whole thing off. I can just pull it through, set it down, unplug the timecode generator, loosen the top handle, pull it to the side, and then I can take the monitor off, just like that. Go ahead and set that aside. Now I do need to use this tool here to take this off, which is gonna be, I think it's this one. Take that off, and then I'm gonna go ahead and place this one on. Just screw it on just like this. And then I usually tighten it down pretty good. Just gonna kind of leave it like that for now. Then this here, this Nato rail is gonna slide right up here on the side of the camera here, and it's going to get locked in. This power cable gets plugged in back into the camera or into the monitor. And I'm just gonna lock this here on the side for just a second so I can plug my HDMI cable back in. And then with this, just to keep it nice and neat, I will like wrap it around. I will wrap it around this section here like twice, I think maybe 3 times even. I'm just gonna do it twice for the sake of this video. And then I plug it in here at the bottom, and then I loosen this up and get it set into place just like this. Tighten it down. Now we're going to use that little tool on the bottom of the camera, and we're going to take off this Nato rail because we don't need it for this part of the rig. So just like that, put this little tool back so we don't lose it. And then the XLR top handle slides right on here just like this. Lock it into place. And then again, you have that tool on the bottom of the camera, so you can go ahead and lock these down pretty tight. Right back on the bottom. Now this is my run and gun documentary style build. I'm able to use the top handle. I don't have a monitor mounted way up on the top here. I have it mounted on the side, right in my line of sight so that I can easily see it. I can move it, angle it whichever direction if I loosen it just a little bit. It tends to stay right where I need it to be at. And yeah, I love this setup right here. But yeah, if you guys have any questions on this rig build, or if you have any other questions about, you know, maybe my gimbal setup, leave me a comment down in the section down below. And definitely give this video a like, subscribe if you guys want to see some more of this content, and I will see you guys on the next video.